Hello and welcome to Technology World on Omni Radio, a program brought to you by the Public Information Section of the United Nations Mission in Liberia. It comes on every Friday at 3:05 in the afternoon with a repeat on Sunday at 7 in the morning. For the next 55 minutes, we'll be discussing the impact of technology on education. Dr. Emmanuel Dike, Associate Dean for Research and School Development at Stars College of Technology, is my guest on the program today. My name is Robert Bode. Keep tuned. This is Technology World on Omni Radio. Today I have in studio Dr. Emmanuel Dike. Welcome to Technology World on Omni Radio.
Thank you so much, Rob, and I'm excited to be here today.
Today we are discussing the impact of technology on education. But before we go there, give a little background about yourself, your involvement with the IT sector and education.
Specifically, I'm presently involved into technology education. I work as the Associate Dean of Stars College of Research and School Development, where I work on IT capstones. Students who have completed their course of work have to present a project at the end of the year and defend those projects before an independent board, and my job is responsible to see that all those students are doing the right thing and they are able to make the presentation as well. I'm totally involved in the education. I'm also a professor an adjunct professor at the AMU University, where I teach research to senior students. And I'm excited that with the different consultancy that I'm involved into, I also work with primary and secondary schools in Liberia, where we train our teachers into quality instructions, technology as well. So I'm excited to be here, and we are here to discuss why it is that technology education is important and the impact it has as well.
What's the role of technology with respect to education?
Well, technology is very important when it comes to education. And like you said, before we can go into the impact, let's look at the role of education. You see, technology is everywhere. It's entrained in almost everything we do. It's part of our lives. It affects our way we shop, the way we connect with people, the way we play, and most importantly, it affects the way we learn. You see, technology is so important that it increases the presence of our lives. And one of the things that it really do is that it gives you the sense of mobile technology within the classroom, where students are able to interact and go into different places. But we're going to go in depth into that.
How can technology be used to improve learning?
Well, technology has a positive impact on education. And at the same time, it also has a negative effect. So despite the positive impact, it has a negative effect. Now, teachers and students should take advantage of the good lights and eliminate the drawbacks which are putting back on many students. Let's say, for example, students have the ability to use their laptops, the computers, to be able to enhance their education. But that's the positive impact. The negative impact is that because they have access to the internet, they are able to make use negatively of the social media, Facebook, Instagram, and you name it, YouTube, and they're watching pornographics and things that are negatively going to affect their education. So technology has a good role, to just put it for simplicity, and also a bad role.
Before we go in depth into the impact, the significance, and what role technology has, firstly, as a student, why should I consider technology?
Yeah, as a student, I'd advise you to consider technology because, like before, we had the traditional way of learning, where the teacher is in charge of the class and he leads the class. But now technology has caused the teacher now to serve as an advisor, someone who is a facilitator. Because of technology, the student have physical asset, they can visually see things, and then the teachers can able to guide them through the process. It's never like that when it comes to traditional education. But what is important here is that when a teacher is involved into technology and also enhancing traditional education, you find out that the student has a greater role to play because the teacher serves as a coach or a facilitator.
As a coach and a facilitator.
Right.
Now, from your assessment in Liberia here, what can you say with respect to technology in the educational sector?
Technology is a challenge. We are getting there, and this is why some of us we took the sacrifice to see how we can come back home and help our country. It's tedious, it's challenging, but yet and still we're doing it. We're encouraging students to get involved into technology. Look, Rob, I deal with students at different levels, and it is challenging for me that some students just don't know how to use the computer. And one of the things that I do during my orientation is to tell them you have to be computer friendly. You have to be technology friendly because a part of your license will have to be involved into technology. So it's still a challenge. And the reason why it's a challenge is because of what happened to this country. We are gradually getting there, and I believe that we will get there. It's a matter of time and it's a process.
Manner of time and process.
Yes, sir.
From your experience, someone who has worked in the United States and other parts of the world, what approach do you think we can use to ensure that our schools are digitalized and technology can be used in schools?
Well, first of all, Liberia has a very good internet system. And the proper system, it works so far. In fact, right now I'm here, I'm able to teach a course online in America, and I'm also doing my dissertation with my secondary where I'm involved into technology. I'm able to have access to classes, so it tells me that if we can use a digital program in our class, the problem is that what if we can substitute the internet system and we use we use pre-recording digital or philosophy where we can pre-record these lessons and our students can have access to it. The dangerous part is that if we continue to live like we're not in the 21st century, learners who leave from here and goes to America and other countries, they get lost because there are things, because technology is improving, programs are changing, there are different apps are coming up, and they cannot get involved into the process. So it's important that the government, not just the government, citizens, the private sector, the government sector gets involved. Let us invest in education. When you invest in education, you can have a positive return.
What's your recommendation to students?
I will first of all recommend that our students get involved into technology education before getting involved into this traditional classroom. It helps you. It gives you, in fact, it makes you one step ahead. It gives you that enhancement to be able to be ahead of things. And Rob, when a student is technologically inclined, he or she is even able to work ahead of the instructor. I work with a lot of technology students, and I see how my students are able to make research ahead. And when they come to class, they are fully prepared. No, let me tell you, there are 10 reasons why technology is important. The first one is that if a student uses technology correctly, that technology will help that student for and doing his future career. It's inevitable to include the use of wireless technology. You cannot avoid that. The cell phone, the mobile phone these days, our smartphones. You can take a picture, you can browse. You see, so you have to get involved. Don't sit home. Don't say, I can't do this. Have confidence in yourself. Say, I can do this. I will do it. And go for it.
Maybe sometimes people see it challenging to learn technology.
Yeah, it is challenging, and I won't doubt that. But you see, what if we can integrate technology into the classroom, like you said, and definitely look at it for a great reach? You see, when you integrate technology within a classroom, it exposes the classroom to diversity learning style. Students are able to access different things. They are able to look at things from a different perspective, read up a different culture, read up a different ways, norms, and values of life. It also gives the student the chance to interact with their classmates more by encouraging collaboration. So technology is important. There is no way we can keep technology or we divulge technology from education.
What are other reasons that?
The fourth one, we just got the third one. The third one is that it gives the student the chance to interact with your classmate. And not just interactions, but also the encouragement. The fourth one, technology will help you, the teacher, and also prepare you, the student, and the environment. Let's say, for example, when you have technology, you can enhance the environment, you can enhance yourself, and the teachers can also have an opportunity. Now, let's look at our nation, Liberia. When things get improved, I do believe that technology will become dependent. Where you are a technology student, you get to know that you as a user who sit before the computer, you have to give instructions to the computer for the computer to implement and also process those informations and turn them into a soft copy. So these students will totally get involved, and and then citizens will have a very broad perceptions, and then people will start to look at things from a different perspective, and we will live as citizens in the 21st century.
How can technology help improve student-teachers interaction?
Well, by getting involved. Once more, one of the ways is that learning new programs, learning new softwares, getting yourself, like going back to the integrations of technology. Every day you can help your student by making them to stay engaged. New apps, new softwares. Let's say, for example, now we got Windows Microsoft Word 2016. We have a new program that might come up and say Windows 10. Windows 10 is used everywhere now in the United States and abroad, and while we're still using Windows 7 here. So one of the things we want to do is to start introducing Windows 10 into the schools, into the different organizations and communities, so that citizens can start having access to them. When citizens have access to these softwares, you find so that they are getting on par with that of the world, because when things come out within new software, they are able, to have access to that as well. So technology play a serious role. It has a serious impact on our education in Liberia, positively and negatively.
You already mentioned the positive aspect. You talk about how it help improve student relation with each other and also instructors' relationship with students,
Right.
Interaction. What are some negative aspects of it that you think students should avoid, or teachers?
Using technology wrongly. For instance, going on Facebook, spending about 8 to 12 hours, and by that time you're supposed to be doing your lessons. You're leaving that and you're going on Facebook. You're negatively chatting, because Facebook is an informal environment. It's not a form. We got some social site that you can go to, like LinkedIn, where you read about professional people, things that are
And maybe they serve as role model to you.
Right. But Facebook, you find different audience there. So it's important to choose your audience carefully. But when you as a student gets there, the first thing is that the negative aspects of Facebook attract you, and then you spend more time. In fact, why if you cut down from 8 hours to 4 hours on Facebook, cut it off, shut it up, and then try to pay attention to your lesson, because if education played a serious role in your life. When you are educated, you live healthier, because education is life.
Education is life. Someone said technology have reduced costs
I agree.
in schools.
It does. And then the problem is that once you have technology, you don't even need to have, you find out that we start getting away from waste, using papers, things that you want to print, like blackboards, chalkboards, and things you're supposed to be printing, the flyers, placards. When each student have a computer before them, and the interacting with that PCs, you will observe that, you don't need shit to do anything. Everything is before then, and they can access it. You also save costs. You don't have to buy sheets because they already have the soft copy before them.
You as a professor who have worked in the United States, you have taught students there, you have experienced that environment. Comparing your experience here in Liberia, how challenging is it?
Oh, it's a huge challenge, I must admit. And we are getting there. Challenges are made to overcome, and we will overcome it. When it comes to the difference, the perceptions are different totally. Kids in America, they have a different perceptions with that of kids in Liberia. what is important is that they are two different people. They are not, there's no two person who are alike. People are always different. But what is good for us as professor is to know our students and work with their perceptions.
So what do you think can be done to improving technology in schools?
What if we can prioritize our education system? What if we give more to it? What if we educate? You see, scholarship is not enhancing. Scholarship is good, but for my own opinion, it doesn't really enhance the education system. What if we enhance our education system and we start to provide quality education here? We don't need to go out of Liberia. I remember when I was a kid, we had Ghanaians, Nigerians, other nationalities that came to Liberia to obtain education because we had an education system in place. Right now, what sort of system do we have in place? What is the responsibility of the Ministry of Education with that of the other sector, government sectors? How much money are we pumping into the education system? When I came, I established Education for Liberia Incorporated, working with different primary and secondary schools. We do not receive subsidies. We are using our limited resources to go out there and train teachers free of charge. What if the government starts by doing subsidizing local institutions that are owned by Liberians themselves? Foreigners will now face our education system. We have to pay attention to Liberians who are totally involved into the system. Let us fortitude them. Let us pump in money into the system. And trust me, when we invest in education once more, we are going to have a positive return.
There are other instructors, professors out there like you. Mm-hmm. How have you used technology?
Oh, yeah, I use technology a lot, especially with the different schools that I work with because of the level of students. Also, with the high schools where I play a consultancy role, and with the college where I'm more involved into the teaching process. And one thing that I do is that I make my students to love technology. What about mobile technology? What does mobile technology do in the classroom? It makes it so quicker and easier to get around. So I tell students, look, what if we decide to have a video recording, before the beginning of the class, summarize the entire session, chapter 1, and then just make a video of it and post it, on the site and tell them to go to the site and watch your video. Or maybe have a live video where students can get involved in watching those videos and you're teaching them. Because some students are, they are visually, into education. And then some students are there, I have to come into the classroom and teach. So I'm totally involved into it. And then the students who have challenges when it comes to technology, I work with them because I believe in working with students individually so you will succeed.
For technology to be used in schools, it emanates from both the students and instructors.
Absolutely.
What their assessment with respect to your colleagues, their knowledge about technology?
Yeah.
Are they knowledgeable?
It boils down to how well our teachers are trained. You do not expect all of the teachers in Liberia to be trained to certain standards, like Dada Decay and some other professors. We are getting there. We gradually trying to help. But what if we invest in education again once more, and we start to train our teachers? Technology skills. Where we bring them, because they are already involved into the traditional teaching, where we start injecting, like you said, the seminar and teaching a different concept, program, software. This is what you can do because we have softwares that we use as teachers. So what if we train them to the softwares? What if we tell them this is how you can do your research and set up your lesson plan electronically? I don't know whether we are doing that where we prepare our lesson plan electronically. But, because we are not investing and encouraging these things, it becomes a predicament. So what if the government increase the percentage within the budget when it comes to education? Why if our private citizens starts to help donations? Look, there are a lot of countries who wants to give help and aids when it comes to education. But what do we do with these fundings? We have to invest in education.
You are listening to Technology Word on Ome Radio, a 55-minute show that looks at the impact of technology in our day-to-day activities, whether as individuals or as a nation. We'll be back after this break.
Take break. We'll see you soon.
Prada boy, yeah. See, I see, yeah. Japan, you pape. Yeah. Then when I come and find a man, I'm a real shiggy. If for that size, one you and the biggie. Let's scrap on the black, who not even side there. Then when you're not on the carry, tryna make a way. Shout out to that my piggy and my papa, that she get caught in Spain, the traffic. Shout out to that my bro who can drop it, that you can fetch a man kate. Shout out my fireman, I bet that step on the equate. Shout out my brabi, my shiggy, my bro, my big Judah. Shout out to that Sinini and that Puffoni, that real crowd aboard that guy, Abo on the Mokofi. My slim black Jew and I have a D. That my cover, oh man, I can position the turbo geek. Shout out to the DJs and the fans. Shout out to my Shiggy Pro, G Joint brand. Shout out to the Bobby Wire brand. You find me on the Canary, you can't comprehend. Shout out Johnny Boy, my school piece. On the go to meeting, all the need they used to call me. My money not reach away, you are clear. Used to come left poor, I was not having cost. I used to be poor, just like chair horror too. Just like chair horror. Banana, let she get pro dada on the block, Shout out to that my piggy and my papa, that she get caught in Spain, the traffic. Shout out to that my bro who can drop it, that you can fetch a man kate. Shout out my fireman, I bet that step on the equate. Shout out my brabi, my shiggy, my bro, my big Judah.
Let's go. To me noon and me noon da. What's up to my dove and my pen and bar? I blow the shout out to my Zogo and my Upa. My singer, man, will give my recipes fallen soldier. One day, nobody know when they would die, so let me blow the shout out to all those alive. One day, my son and mama, walla winning, and I'm the one that sang your brain, not the vibe, and the man did not say no. Blow the shout out to all of the MCs, DJs, and all of my hip hop Pharisees. Well, I would tell me, man, the Indian and no mess with them in the one day. Hulu all I got, Hulu and Mr. Pune. Shout out to the Oma in the cover shop. Yeah, the Lapa Bido, I can go to with my tea-shop. But so look cool, Sunday good, Sunday bar. But when they did buy my cat a kid,
shout out to that my piggy and my papa, that she get caught in Spain, the traffic. Shout out to that my bro who can drop it, that you can fetch a man kate. Shout out my fireman, I bet that step on the equate. Shout out my brabi, my shiggy, my bro, my big Judah.
Yeah, if I do it for my feeling, they will say I buy. So like why see call me just to testify. What's up to my Julian, I still breaking on the blood. They want it when I started dead, they still looking for them. Shout out to my Brabi, shout out to my Piggy, shout out to my friend and I Johnny Scob up for chicken. What's up to my Sogo, then I walk in linking, but as soon you get him, I just know they going to the city. Shout out to my Piggy, I caught in the Ghana, and shout out to all the old many homes to do. Shout out to my Brabi on the test, hustling from the window just to go and get it perfect. As soon as get it, then go and start it diva. Smoke brain liver, cause he not get time to tiba. Shout out to my Kobo, oh man, and I'm making it by. If I even 10 hours, they go even oh my saber.
Shout out to that my piggy and my papa, that she get caught in Spain, the traffic. Shout out to that my bro who can drop it, that you can fetch a man kate. Shout out my fireman, I bet that step on the equate. Shout out
you already know.
My brabi, my shiggy, my bro, my big Judah.
Yo, I do it for my bro then who can always drop me. Free all my men in inches, South Beach. Shout out to my real leg yeah, man. Oh my damn papi then, down a blonde one then. What's up to my fans? I love y'all. Yeah. Now your boy C to the OL. Shout out to the one who not like me, enemies. I don't even care about nothing. I do it for my friends and family. From Tail Street all the way overseas. Shout out to my piggy, they respecting me. Shoe shine boy, then who can claim my Jordans. Shout out to myself, I'm amazing. See how many people came to see me. This not a sight for C4. CIC, Kasi, Crystal, Kunayo.
Shout out to all my piggy and my papera. She get caught in Spain, the traffic. Shout out to all my bro can drop it at you can fetch a mancate. Shout out my fireman, I bet I data stepping on the equate. Shout out my brappy, my shiggy, my bro, my big Judah.
Shout out.
See you, papi. It's KZW on the mix and Benny on the beat, too.
On the radio, getting you involved, letting the people talk.
Express yourself.
Liberia Tonight, Night Shift, Your Morning, Soul Food, Civil Affairs, Crime Watch, Palava Hut.
Express yourself.
Unlow Radio, you talk, we listen.
Express yourself.
Letting the people talk.
Welcome back to Technology at World on my radio. Here with me on the program today is Dr. Emmanuel Decay, Associate Dean for Research and School Development at the Stars College of Technology, and we are discussing the impact of technology on education. How can technology help improve the outcome of students?
It helps by breaking the traditional passive learning mode. Technology break it apart. With technology in the classroom, look, I told you again, the teacher become the encourager, the advisor, the coach. It break that silence, when you go into the traditional classroom, the teacher have to say everything. He has to write to say, let's read this, by words. But once you have technology, all you have to do your presentation, and you have it right on the board, right? With every mouse click, you have a session, a chapter of discussions, and students can physically see those things. They can interact with you as a professor, and what you do now, you just stand by and start to encourage them. So this is why we say it breaks the traditional passive mode. So the traditional passive mode is where the teacher serves as a leader, as a ruler in the classroom. But now when it breaks that traditional passive mode, the teacher becomes the encourager, telling the student, now you're seeing this, do this and do that.
Someone said with the involvement of technology in education, it also helps create that link out of campus with teachers and students.
Oh yeah, it gives access to digital textbooks that are constantly updated, and it often, it becomes so vivid. It helps you as a student. You sit in the comfort of your living room and you're accessing millions of books. I can tell you right now, I sit and I access millions, tons of books from my university, the Grand Canyon University, where I'm studying my secondary in higher education. And I just sit in Liberia here and I access so many books. And then even help some students and give them some of these digital books. So why if we can, let me tell you one thing, 5 or 10 years from now, maybe a decade or two from now, you're not going to see physical books around here. All of the books are going to be digital. Why we are in Liberia crying for traditional books, students around the world are using digital books. So why we start encouraging our students that they should get involved into technology and start accessing their books online? These are the thoughts we should start having as citizens of this country.
How does technology make students more independent in their studies?
Well, technology make you more independent by giving you exactly what you want. It's before you. You see it. You're visually able to memorize it, keep it. And once you get in the classroom, you can be able to put it out. It makes you so independent. But let's say a teacher he stands up and tell you that, this is called a verb. Right? But the computer will display what is a verb.
By showing actions.
By showing the actions. He will say an action verb means to kick. Right? But then the teacher will say an action verb means to kick. Okay? It means the same, But the difference is that technology is showing that action.
Visualizing it.
It's visualizing, it's displaying it. And that's why technology is so significant, Rob. It's important, Robert, that we encourage technology in all of our schools in Liberia. It is important.
At which level do you think it should be introduced?
I think for the perceptions and the environment, I think from second grades, from immediately after your first grade to the second grade, I think students should start having access to learning technology. And once you get into your sixth grade, you already have the greater access. You already know the parts of computer, but it's so surprising that students go to the University of Liberia and just start learning introduction to computer. You see, it's disheartening. But this is where we find ourselves. Now, how can we improve the system? By bringing in competent people and using our own resources. When I'm talking about resources, it's not just money. I'm also talking about the human resources that we have. If we start to invest in our human resources and bring in people that are Liberians and Africans that can help us, we are going to go somewhere. But one of the negative effects here is that we are afraid of competition. Individuals who are qualified and come to this country will make it so hard for them to help their own country. And it has to change. Ghana is competent today because they encourage their citizens to come home and help. Nigeria is doing the same. What about Liberia? We are just 4.2 or 4.9 millions. Do you know how many times we can come out of Nigeria, who is about 80 million by projection? It means we are sleeping. We live in a technology world. It's time that we wake up from our slumber. It's time that we live like people who, in the 21st century. Look, Rob, I'm telling you, Robert, kids that come from America, they feel so lost when they get to Africa, Liberia specifically. You know why? Because the technology advancement in the Western world is so rapid change. What you doing? Why you dealing with Windows 7? Those kids are talking about Windows 10.
Or introducing Windows 11.
I know. It's so significant that we're sleeping. It's important that we pay attention to these things. We cannot keep being there. That complacency theory, that complacency style of living, we have to desist from it.
You made mention of online learning. What is it?
Well, Robert, you see, in America, you have a choice whether you want to do your courses in the classroom or you want to do it online. And once you decide to do that, we have a platform. I have written some courses when it comes to, we call it Blackboard. But now we're now transforming from Blackboard now to different kinds of writing platforms. And it's a program, it's a software that allows the student to interchange with his professors or facilitator. And the teacher going to just respond to you, write to you, you write back, ask you questions, do video clips visually. You take your test and it's timed by the computer. And once you're done, it grades you right away. You get to know where you are. And it's really, really encouraging because you see, Robert, the essence of teaching is not to fail the students. The essence of teaching is to allow the student to learn, right, and become a better person. And what they're going to learn should be part of their life. I'm sitting before you here today because there were professors who took the sacrifice, who said that, because I made a mistake, I should have a second try. All of my students will tell you, there's no need I should fail you once you're in my class. I always encourage my students and tell you, look at the bigger picture. If you come to classroom and there's no absence at all, you've been to classroom from day one to the end, why should you fail? I don't think any student should fail once you don't play with your attendance. You see, so education is not failing someone. Not because you want to get bribed, that's why you want to fail someone. I think you as a teacher, a facilitator, it's incumbent upon you to filter to your students. Prepare them, send it out there.
How does online learning apply to Liberia?
Looking
at the kind of infrastructure we have, how our schools are limited in terms of capacity.
We can gradually introduce the system, Robert. At Stars College, what I do is that I provide online resources for my senior students. And presently, we do not have a platform where we send it through, but we are working on that, where students are going to be able to access them through the website. Besides that, what I do now is I send it through their emails. But we can gradually introduce a software. What about Blackboard that is being used by high schools in America and other countries and even colleges? What if we can start teaching Blackboard? We can introduce that platform. We can install in our computer, install in our schools, where the students, whatever they learn into the classroom, goes home and still able to access it online. It's going to help. This is technology. We are sleeping. It's time that we get up and face the real things that are happening in the real world.
What do you think should be done to help improve the entire system?
Investment into the education system. Let us attract, our learners. Let them feel the competition. Look around. Besides education, there's no competitions, hardly, in different institutions. Organizations, people are afraid that they're going to lose a job because of incompetency, even at the school. Our teachers are now well trained, but we keep them there because that's the only means we have. But what if we start talking about quality instructions? What if we start investing and changing our system, the philosophy of our education? I believe, don't you think we're going to make a significant progress? We will. But the problem is that we have to decide that this is what we want. This is what we want to become, and this is what we want to do. The complacency theory is killing us.
I spoke to a professional guy who said they find it difficult for schools to embrace technology, the use of technologies in schools.
Yeah, because, like I said, we don't want to shape our paradigm. It is time that we shape our paradigm and open ourselves to new things. There are individuals who come in this country, they are now allegedly not being accepted because people feel that they are competent than others and going to take their jobs. So one of the ways is to start encouraging new things, opening our perceptions to new things, learning new technology as we're talking about today, revamp our school system, get involved into education, bring in educators. Like I always say, it's important our education system is headed by our educators because they know the implications, they know what it is, the decisions that are supposed to be made in this education system. Educators know. So if you take a carpenter and bringing and making a head of a school, what would you think he's going to do? He's not going to be able, or he or she will not be able to make any sound decisions. And then a effect. And he or she will want to protect their child because that's the only end Smith. And he or she is going to be afraid of competition. So this is what happening to this country. So why if we can expose our education system, bringing competent people, the competent individuals that are here, sort them out. Let's sit on a round table and form a think tank committee and look into our education system. Don't you think we're going to make progress? We are able to do it. I have a serious confidence in Liberia, and I believe that indeed we have the human resources to survive. The reason why we're not doing it and we keep becoming, what we are today and decreasing instead of progressing is because we are not paying attention. We are afraid of competition.
What do you make of the introduction of technology education in the curriculum for teachers?
Oh, yeah.
At the various teacher training institutions.
It's important. Like I told you, the first time I ever learned technology was at the Universal Library. My undergraduate degree was on the Universal Library. And they called it Introduction to Computer. Can you imagine? The first time I ever learned about technology was at my undergraduate level. We should start talking about technology for second grade. Preferably first grade. In the United States and other countries, the kids plays with technology at any age. Your 2 years old child, your 1 year old child, can even start playing with technology. Kid. So why if we encourage our kids to start playing with technology? Don't you think we're going to make some impact in their lives? But look around and see. People will start to say, well, we don't have the money. But education is expensive. If you think education is cheap, try ignorance. It is time that we sacrifice. All the sacrifice for us, that's why we are where we are today. Today we are sacrificing, leaving the comfort of our homes, coming back home to help. We still face the challenges of being accepted into our own society and giving the opportunity to help. because we are not opening up. Rather, all these difficulties are coming because we are not opening our society. We are not being, we open it up to foreigners more than even our own Liberians. We respect the foreigners so much. We feel that the foreigner is going to make a greater impact. I'm not refusing that, but this country is only going to survive and get well developed when Liberians themselves take the responsibility.
In 5 years from now, where do you see Liberia in terms of schools utilizing technology?
I'm still anticipating. Where do I see Liberia in 5 years? It all depends on how well we're willing to accept education. Rather, we have not accepted education. I'm telling you the truth. We are not investing in the education. When you take your time to view the national budget of this country and see how many percentage being allocated, projection being allocated for education, it's not even equivalent to a high school budget in the United States or any country around the world. Not even Ghana, not even Nigeria. It means we have to increase our education budget. We have to bring competent people on board. We have to put individuals, educators who are qualified, who are competent, train our teachers. We have to create incentives program. We have to increase our teacher salary. We have to look after them. Look, when teachers are now well paid, they get involved into corruptions. And in order to curtail that, what will you do is that you want to pay your teachers so that your teachers will go into the classroom and hold themselves accountable because they have a responsibility.
Before we conclude this program, is there anything you would like to talk about relative to the impact of technology on education?
Well, I just want to tell all the learners out there, you don't have to be in my class, but if you have interest in education from a technological perspective, I want to encourage you to pay more attention to the positive impact it has to your learning process. And it's time to get involved, get friendly, technology-wise with your education. Get involved. If you don't have a computer, try to go to the library if we have one in this country, or try to get a laptop, individual laptop, and try to start learning about new software and new programs. The more you learn about new things, the more versatile you become. I'm also want to appeal to the government that they can look into the investment aspect of education, increase the budgetary allocations when it comes to education, so that students can have greater access. Technology is expensive, but we can start having computers in our schools, and our teachers can be trained. When our teachers are trained, they will enhance the instructions they are giving the learners. So I just want to thank you for giving me an opportunity. And for all of you listening out there, thank you so much.
That's it for Technology Word on Mail Radio today. And if you missed this program, you can listen to its repeat on Sunday at 7 in the morning. Thanks to my guest Emmanuel Dike for being on the program. Technology Word is a production of the Public Information section of OMIL. Comments and suggestions you have about the program, and don't hesitate to email us at technologyword@gmail.com, or you can log on to Facebook/technologyword. My name is Robert Bode. Many thanks for listening.
This has been a production of the Public Information section of the United Nations Mission in Liberia.